This is Georgetown, the podcast. Georgetown County and the city. Georgetown is growing, changing, expanding, and blossoming. The Hammock Coast of South Carolina. It's a renaissance. This is Georgetown, the podcast. Here's your host, Scott Richards.
Welcome to Georgetown, the podcast. I'm Scott Richards, and I'm happy to tell you, got a friend of ours, a good old friend, is Beth Stedman with the Georgetown County Chamber of Commerce. And you're president, executive vice president, chairman of the board.
CEO.
This is all about Georgetown and how Georgetown is exploding and growing, and it's a renaissance, really, of this wonderful community. And I know that you know the answer to this, but this is maybe the oldest city in South Carolina, one of the oldest cities in the nation.
It's the third oldest city in the state of South Carolina, but we do know that there have been people living in the area much longer than that. In fact, we have some evidence that the Spanish were here as early as 1521, actually predates St. Augustine, Florida. So we know that we had the indigenous cultures, the Native Americans, the Waccamaw, the Winyah, the PD, and then the Spanish came over. They established a settlement. Didn't stay for very long. And so over the years, the city of Georgetown has grown and blossomed, but it's the third oldest city in the state of South Carolina.
So when was the city itself actually founded?
I believe it was around 1729. I may not have the date exactly correct, but it was in the 1720s.
Yeah, that's before the Revolution. That goes way back.
Yes. History, it runs deep in South Carolina's Hammock Coast.
And we're going way back, but back in the early days, what was the big industry or the crop? What drove this part of the country?
Rice cultivation. Indigo started and then rice. The indigo was sent mostly to England, and they used it in their uniforms. So needless to say, when the Revolutionary War broke out, that market dried up a little bit.
Yeah.
But indigo is really what brought us great attention internationally, and then rice production. In 1860, or by 1860, Georgetown County was the largest producer of rice, second only to Calcutta, India.
Oh, wow. Oh, I had no idea.
Yes.
Does it exist at all right now?
We do have a few places that grow it. White House Farms grows rice here, and you can find their products all around. You can find them in Georgetown, and you can find them all in the region as well.
And indigo,
yes,
that's the color.
That's the
color.
color.
It was used for dyes. Does that exist still in the Georgetown area?
It does some. You'll see it more in the historical references.
Okay.
But people who are coming to Georgetown who will often see the colors blue and yellow used throughout the city and throughout the county. And that's why the blue for indigo and the yellow gold for rice.
You're watching or listening to Georgetown, the podcast.
So let's talk about Georgetown. 10 years ago, if I went down, or when I went down to downtown Georgetown and I went down to Front Street, I experienced a nice little area and a couple of restaurants. Bring that up to today, 10 years ago compared to today, what does Georgetown feel and look like?
Georgetown is really vibrant. You go downtown, you'll see lots of people walking around, lots of people shopping, eating in our wonderful restaurants. And there's just an energy there that is incredible. You feel it when you go downtown. You feel it when you're anywhere in Georgetown and anywhere in Georgetown County. It's really fun to see this vibrant community continuing to grow. You know, Georgetown has reinvented itself many, many times. And so
right.
For you calling a renaissance, it actually is. It's going through another renaissance. It's reinventing itself yet again. And I can't wait to see how this works.
How long ago was it where the fire really rampaged on Front Street?
Goodness.
And then have we completely rebuilt?
It was probably about 12 years ago now.
Oh,
It's hard to
okay,
believe
longer
it's
than
that
I
long
thought.
ago. Yes. But what they did was the block that burned, that suffered from the fire, is now used as a Maritime Park. So people can have different events there, you'll see weddings there, different functions there. The Wooden Boat Show is headquartered out of there. So it's a great use for that property.
So I want you to put your forecasting glasses on, look in your crystal ball. 10 years from now, what do you see for Georgetown?
Oh my goodness, I see the waterfront activity extending on beyond the steel mill. And the port has been purchased by Georgetown County. It will be the first thing we see redeveloped along the waterfront. So we'll see, I believe, housing and shops and dining, probably some light industrial, but it's going to be just an incredibly vibrant place to be.
Talk a little bit about that geographically, the port. Where is that? And the county has purchased that. So how does that tie back into the downtown area, for example?
So if you are standing on the Harbor Walk in Georgetown, you look across and you'll see the port.
I got you.
Yes. So it is very visible, and what we are hoping will happen one day is that that Harbor Walk will actually extend around beyond the steel mill property and across into the port, so that it will all be walkable and connected.
Well, you brought up the Georgetown Steel, and we recognize that as a kind of a heritage of Georgetown. And it was really important because a lot of people worked there. It was what gave Georgetown much of its identity, but that has gone or will be gone. What's happening there? What's the short term? Obviously, we don't know exactly the long term. We think it's going to be great, but what's happening now? What's the short term?
Well, short term, of course, the steel mill is tearing down the buildings on the property. So over the next year, 2 years, we'll see a lot of cleanup going on. The physical structures are coming down. It's going to open up vistas that I don't know we've seen in Georgetown in many, many years. And so, yes, we do want to honor that heritage because the steel mill was a very important part of the economy. It educated people. It put food on the table. So we do want to honor that incredible legacy and their gift to Georgetown and beyond.
In terms of Georgetown, the area, obviously the population is growing very fast. Who are you seeing coming into Georgetown? What are the types of people? What's happening there? And maybe some numbers. How fast is Georgetown growing compared to the rest of the coast or the state?
I don't know that I have the numbers to give you for that, but it is interesting. So we do see a lot of movement of people coming up from Charleston, people relocating both their residences, coming in from Charleston.
Yeah.
We're seeing a lot of young families move to Georgetown, which is incredible. And we have to have young people in our communities for our communities to grow and to get stronger and to survive. And of course, we have wonderful, wonderful people who relocate here. They come here on vacation and then they come back to stay and live permanently. So it's a real mix there, Scott.
Talk about this giant area. I mean, Georgetown's not a tiny place. Would I be correct in assuming that the Litchfield, Pawleys Island, even up to Murrells Inlet, is where a lot of the growth and permanent population is happening?
That has historically been where a lot of the growth has been, is on what we refer to as the Waccamaw Neck.
Yep.
So you're looking at Murrells Inlet, Litchfield, Pawleys Island. We've seen a lot of growth in these areas. But I think what you're going to see moving forward is the growth outside of the city of Georgetown, in the western part of Georgetown County and in the southern parts of Georgetown County. So there's already a lot of activity going on. There's a lot of plans in the works. So it's really exciting to see all of that happening.
Yeah, geographically, Georgetown goes in quite a ways, the Georgetown County. How far in does that go?
So it extends from Murrells Inlet, the most northern parts of Murrells Inlet. You have the southern part of Garden City.
Oh, okay, right.
And then on down to the Santee River.
And inland, where does Georgetown?
And inland, it goes all the way. We share a border with Williamsburg County.
And that's a part of the state that I really do need to discover a little bit more because
it's absolutely beautiful. And the western part of Georgetown County is one, and the southern part. They're both two of the most beautiful, beautiful places that you could ever drive through.
I want to shift gears for just a little bit and talk about some of my favorite things to do. I love going out to eat. I love going out to lunch, especially. The choices now in Georgetown, I don't know, tripled, quadrupled in the last 10 years. Didn't used to have the choices, but we've got lots of choices and a lot of variety.
We absolutely do. We are seeing new places pop up. We're seeing places that were in Polly's and extending second locations into the city of Georgetown. But the thing I like to remember is we have two of our iconic restaurants that are celebrating very big anniversaries this year. So Lee's Inlet Kitchen is celebrating its 77th anniversary, owned by the same family. And, that's one of those places that people come on vacation that's top of their to-do list.
Absolutely.
And then in Georgetown, the Ball and Q is celebrating its 55th anniversary. So while we have these wonderful new places, we have these historic and iconic places that have been around for a generation that continue to succeed.
I'm going to have to make a trip, and we got to meet at the Ball and Q because
Absolutely.
I haven't been in a while, but I will tell you the best dessert of my life was like a 16-layer caramel cake.
Yes.
And I, even today, I'm just blown away. It's basically a meat and three. And I don't think there's no pool tables there now, right?
No. And the queue is for barbecue now.
Yes, but I remember going at lunch and people were playing pool.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, and sitting at the counter, and it felt like I just stepped out of the 60s.
I love the lunch counter. I think it's just beautiful, and it just has such wonderful vibe to it.
So anything new and exciting that maybe you can talk about in terms of Georgetown and what's coming up soon?
Well, as we continue to see things grow, of course, we see our healthcare system continuing to grow and evolve.
Absolutely.
We see, the Winyah Dental is building an extraordinarily beautiful building right on Church Street in Georgetown. So we're seeing that. We're seeing industry coming to the Andrews area, just outside of Georgetown. So Zilmet will be opening shortly, and they're having a grand opening later in July. So we're seeing a lot of economic development activity at the airport as well. So there are lots of cool and great things that are coming and continue to come, in addition to our wonderful restaurants and shops.
It's amazing. It really is a renaissance in Georgetown. Mm-hmm. Well, if people want to learn more, you actually have two locations. So point out where the offices are, and then, of course, the website.
Yes, so we have two offices with visitor centers. One is downtown Georgetown at 531 Front Street. It's open 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. And then we also have a location at Litchfield Beach at 28 Wall Street in Pawleys Island. And we're open 5 days a week at that location. And they can always find us online at visitgeorge.com.
Beth Stedman with the Georgetown County Chamber of Commerce. It's always a pleasure. We've been good friends for many years. Georgetown is just a gem, and we can't wait to hear and see more things to come.
It is, and we like to say we invite people to come and walk through history and stay for the future.
Beautiful. Thank you, Beth.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching or listening to Georgetown, the podcast. Learn more about the Hammock Coast and Georgetown. Read Georgetown Magazine in print, pick one up around Georgetown and along the Carolina coast. Or digitally, visit readgeorgetownmag.com.